विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ वर्स् 141। एवमादिषु शास्त्रेषु दोषाः सम्यक् प्रपञ्चिताः विमृशन्न निशन्तानि कथं दुःखेषु मज्जति। So Vidyaranya has entered into the second line of this Brihadaranyaka mantra. Kimichan kasya kamaya shariram anusanjvaret. And of the second line, well, he is first taking this much portion, Kimichan. And this portion actually, Kimichan, these words indicate a Jnana Phalam. What desire Jnani has, like that. Kimichan, what object of desire he has, Jnani has. Means he doesn't, that's Akshepa. Akshepa means the answer will be no. So, there is no desire. There is no object of desire for a Jnani. So, that's a Jnana Phalam. Kama Nishedaha, Kama Nashaha, Ichcha Nishedaha. So, Jnanis does not have any desire at all. That's a Jnana Phalam. Kama Nasha can only happen when you feel fulfillment. When you are unfulfilled, there is definitely a desire for fulfillment. So, that is how it is a Jnana Phalam. So, the reason is, we can see the reason why he has no Kama now. Three reasons are there. First reason, that Jnani has got a fulfillment in himself. So, no requirement of PSH. So, no requirement of a peace, security and happiness. Because he is the source of peace, security and happiness. Bhagavan said very beautifully in second chapter, Yavanartha udapane sarvata samplutodake tavan sarveshu ka artheshu brahmanasya vijanatah. Like the person who has got, who stays on the bank of a big lake, like a Canada's lake, huge lake and potable water. He will not have any desire for the water because all the time available. Same way, all the objects of desire, our objects of desire are basically, that is for the sake of peace, security and happiness. There is no fourth thing at all. And therefore, definitely, that he knows that he is the source. He is a Shantaha. So, his Shanti, his peace is such which cannot be disturbed at all. He is ever silent. Not silent also is not a good word. He is ever silence, not silent. When I say silent, there is always, you feel that he is an individual. He is not an individual. Individuality and peace cannot go together. A sense of individuality and peace cannot go together. A sense of individuality and happiness cannot go together. A sense of individuality and security cannot go together. Because sense of individuality means sense, there is a limitations. Center on self. So limitation in terms of time. Where is the security? Limitation in terms of, object-wise also. So where is a trupti, fulfillment, in terms of happiness also. And as an individual, you have so many issues. Yeah, an individual will always has to play certain role. But he does not take it as a role. He takes it, every role he takes it as himself. And with related to every role, lots of issues are there. So all the time his mind is bothered with all these things. And therefore, this if you drop the individuality, then only these three things are there. That's our own experience also. Then in deep sleep state, you drop. In fact, you want to drop. Therefore, if you want to go to deep sleep state, and when you are in a deep sleep state, well, there is a peace, there is a security, and there is happiness. It's there. Anyway, once you wake up with a sense of individuality, then again all these three issues, this unfulfillment, etc. will be there. So anyway, so this is the first thing. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. He has self-fulfillment, and therefore he does not have any kama for object, desire. No, he does not have a desire for any objects. Okay. And Vidyaranya does not say, but we try to, remember ourselves. Second reason why he does not have a desire. Jnani knows mithyatvam of the external world, and its incapacity to give peace, security and happiness. Any mithya thing cannot give anything. And therefore much less peace, security and happiness. And therefore mithya thing cannot give. Mithya thing can't give you even a dukkham also, fear also. And mithya thing cannot give you even security, pleasure and peace also. Nothing. Mithya means mithya. It cannot give. Because there is no reality. Mithya means there is no substantiality. A substance can give. If there is no substance and it is just available for experience, well, it doesn't give, it has no capacity. So knowing mithyatvam, this is a nishtha. Atmana satyatvam is very much jagat mithyatvam. Either where there is some doubt, means a nishtha is not there. Definitely. Because jagat mithyatvam is not clear, then atmana satyatvam also is not clear. Atmana satyatvam is not clear, then jagat mithyatvam will not be there. Atma alone is the thing which ever exists. Consciousness ever exists. Nothing can push aside the consciousness. Everything is in consciousness. Right? Every thought is in consciousness, mind in consciousness, any emotion is in consciousness. Everything is in consciousness. Nothing nothing can push aside. Nothing can stay away. All this. So consciousness is ever is. That is called Satyam. Consciousness, Chit, is existence. Satyam, Sat. Anyway, and therefore, other than that, well, everything is mithya. Whether it is there or not, there is no difference in consciousness. You imagine. The space is consciousness, space is not. What difference it makes to a consciousness? Huh? If you are not aware of a space, what does it make a difference to consciousness? A space is there, consciousness is same. Space is not, consciousness is same. Means the other thing, has no substance. Otherwise space goes away, while consciousness contracts. Space comes, consciousness. No change at all. Mind is, consciousness is. Mind is not, consciousness is. As it is. Not an iota of a difference. That is what it is. That is called mithyatvam of the mind. That's how I say there is no substance. So mind value shines, minds exist in consciousness. Shines due to consciousness. And therefore mind is, consciousness is. Well, mind is not, consciousness is. What is the difference between these two consciousnesses? Mind is, consciousness is. Mind is not, consciousness is. What is the difference in consciousness? That is I. I am conscious of space. I am not conscious of space. So I am conscious that there is no space now. That's what it means. What does it make? What difference it makes? No difference. The thing which does not make any difference by its presence and absence, that is mithya. But then why it should be present? If that is what mithya. It shows its presence, but it is not there as a substance. Yeah, be clear about it. be clear about it. So, this space, just even a space arises in consciousness and space goes away, no difference. Space cannot push aside consciousness. Space is pushed aside. Consciousness is not pushed aside. Even space is pushed aside means within consciousness. I have pushed aside the space and I've pushed aside the time. I've pushed aside the object within consciousness. Consciousness is this Sat Chit. Consciousness is. Chit is Sat. This Sat Chit has no limit. No limit. Space, it accommodates the space, it accommodates time, it accommodates all objects. It accommodates universe. Where is the limit? Anything arises and limits the Sat Chit, then definitely it has pushed aside. Yeah. What is the limit? There is no limit. Ananta eva ananda, Satchidananda or Ananta. Anyway, so therefore, this is what he knows about himself. He is so clear. Fulfilled. All the time, a sense of fulfillment is there. And other than that, whatever is there is like a mirage water. Mirage water cannot remove the thirst. Mithya thing cannot give me peace, security and happiness. And therefore, there is no desire for any object. By default, it is not there. Frankly speaking, this is an nishtha when you do not have to push aside the desire of an object. It's automatically not there. This is jnanam. If you have to push it aside, that is a karma yoga. Seeing the dosha, etc. We are going to discuss that. That's a preliminary stage. By viveka, vairagya, etc. All that you pushed aside the desires of objects. In jnanam, it is not like this. Prajahati yada kaman. He does not. Prajahati, Bhagavan says, yada kaman. But whatever desire arises, he drives them away forcibly because they are very subtle and they are enemies. So you have to attack with the missiles and everything, and then they go away. Nothing. They just get dropped totally. So means his mind has no desire. No, he has desires. What are you talking? Yeah, it is coming. Don't worry. So this is a second reason. So like mirage water just cannot remove the thirst. These mithya objects cannot give me peace, security and happiness because they are just there. They are really substantial. They don't have any substantiality. Anyway. Third thing is, he does not have a desire of an object because already he has practiced as a sadhana before Atma Jnanam also. In sadhan chatushay sampatti, because he is a sadhan chatushay sampanna, because he has gained knowledge, so he is adhikari. And therefore, he has seen the doshas, the poison in all the objects of desire. Vishayeshu dosha darshanam. Through viveka, of course. Through viveka. And therefore, he has a vairagya. Without vairagyam, jnanam will not come. Jnana nishtha will not come. Jnanam can come because you have a good intellect and reasoning capacity and all that, and so get clarity. But nishtha will not come without vairagyam. That's how they say during Nididhyasanam also, one has to constantly maintain this vairagyam. Sadhan Chatusha Sampatti. Oh, well, now I am qualified. I will get jnanam and I will do Nididhyasanam. Now I should not bother about this sadhan chatusha. No. Till one gains a nishtha, one has to maintain sadhan chatushtaya sampatti, and especially vairagyam should be there. And so vairagyam means vishayeshu dosha darshanam. So papaugah paridhuyatam bhavasukhe doshonu sandhiyatam atmecha vivasiyatam. In sadhan chatushtaya, in sadhan panchak, it is the Bhagavan says, Bhashyakara says this. I say Bhashyakara, but you understand Shankaracharya ji. Well, Bhavasukhe doshaha anusandhiyatam. Bhavasukhe. All this. Bhavasukha, samsara sukha. In these objects of desire, different objects of desire, he sees doshaha anusandhiyatam. You should see the poison all the time. You should see potassium cyanide in all these objects. Yeah. So this is what are the three poisons in these all objects of desire? The first one is basically that they are all these objects of enjoyment. which I desire, well, they are adulterated with dukkham also. They are with sukham, dukkham is also mixed along with. That's the first dosha, that they are adulterated. Second thing is, then any object of enjoyment does not give a fulfillment, total fulfillment. Fulfillment it gives, temporary, but then just you again become a empty pit. It's a bottomless pit. We'll discuss. So basically, so that's a second dosha. So then, and the third dosha is it creates an addiction. That's a dangerous thing. Yeah, even after you experience, you are gone. A given thing which you experience, and if you are not alert, over, that thing has gone inside now. And again you experience, because now you have got a desire that this is really a good object. So second time, third time, fourth time, over. More you enjoy, more it is difficult to come out of it. It takes you inside. So it makes you addicted. So these three doshas, this person, Jnani has seen before Jnanam itself, at the time of doing Karma Yoga, etc., while gaining a qualification, he was aware of these three doshas of this in the objects of enjoyment. Therefore, at that time itself, he has given up the desire for these objects of enjoyment. Where is the question of after gaining Jnanam and Nishtha and understanding that I am the source. I am the source of happiness. I am the source of peace and security. Where is the question of that desire will remain there? That's no. So that is not correct. Anyway, so Vidyaranya says, well, this habit continues even after Karma Yoga. That habit he has formed during Karma Yoga itself, and that continues. And verse 139 and verse 140 describes this Vishaya Dosha Darshanam of a Jnani. So, three things are there. Three reasons I have given you for why he does not have any desire. Kimichan. What object of desire he has? Means he has no desire at all of any object. So, for that we gave three reasons. First is, he understands that self-fulfillment. Second is, he understands the Mithyatvam of the Jagat. And the third thing is, well, he is aware of the potassium cyanide or poison in these objects of enjoyment from the time of Karma Yoga. So he has formed a habit. So it is by default he knows that these objects of enjoyments should not be touched. So Jnani does not have any ichha. And so he said in verse 141 that doshas of these Vishayas are clearly and elaborately discussed. This is just by the way, not he says. This Vishaya dosha has been very elaborately explained in Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sara Sangraha. It's a marketing technique, okay? And so, 1,000 verses. In that 1,000 verses, he has discussed this one job of a Shankaracharya ji, and that job is to elaborate as much as possible this sadhan chatushte sampatti. And so for Vairagyam, he has given this a list of doshas in the Vishaya, much more than what I am discussing right now. This is just by the way for you. Anyway, second, if you want to see in a Vicharasagara also it is there, in a Vivek Chudamani it is there, and Puranas, my God, so dramatically they describe, very beautifully in a form of a story. What happens, the person gets entangled into a Vishaya. Vishaya means understand a person also. A person also can be an object of enjoyment or a inert thing. And therefore, how the person gets entangled and what happens to him ultimately. Even there is a spiritual fall, in fact. From 1,000 feet or 2,000, it just falls. That's what narrates. This Ramba Urvashi comes and this and that. The person falls, So very dangerous. Purana describes in a little dramatic way, in a form of story and other things. And our text, Vicharasagara, Vivek Chudamani, and this Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Sarasanga, elsewhere also it may be there. describes these doshas of Vishaya very clearly, elaborately. I mean, Shastra is like a microscope, and they will scan all the Vishayas and show you the microbes in that Vishaya. So, Anisham, Anisham means again and again, Vimrushan, revising the Shastra. Well, Katham Dukkheshu Majjati, how will he immerse in these Vishayas, right? So, this is Akshepa, means he does not, Jnani does not plunge into Vishayas. He doesn't have a desire to have as an object of enjoyment. He has a desire for Vishaya, and he has no desire for Vishaya. Understand this very well, what I am saying. He has a desire for objects. He has no desire for objects. No binding desire. Anyway, we will be discussing that. Verse 142. Kshudaya pidyamanopi navisham hyattumichhati mishtannadvastatrujjanan amudhas namudhas tajjigassati. This is a shloka Vidyaranya has bodily lifted from Upadesha Sahasri, 18th chapter and verse number 232. See, Upadesha Sahasri has got a 19 chapters, in a verse form, and the prose version has a 4 chapters. So 18th chapter is the biggest chapter, which we called Tattvamasi Prakaranam. It's very important also because Mahavakya has been analyzed there by Shankaracharya ji. And they say this Naishkarmya Siddhi is an adopted version of this chapter 18. Anyway, in that chapter, 18th chapter of Upadesha Sahasri, there are 233 verses. And Vidyaranya has quoted here verse number 232, just penultimate verse of this, the last verse, before that. And here he gives this beautiful example that how Jnani is not trapped by this kama. Kama means, understand, kama has a two meaning. Kama means a desire of enjoyment, or desire of an object of enjoyment, and kama means an object of enjoyment also. So kama can be object of enjoyment, kama can be the desire for object of enjoyment. Depending upon the context, you have to take the meaning. Anyway, so Jnani is not trapped by these different kamas or by the different vishayas. He gives an example. What is the example? Let's see that. Suppose there is a food inside the plate, and person is extremely hungry also. Kshudhaya pidyamanaha, he says here. Kshudhaya. Kshudha means hunger. Kshudhaya, by hunger. Pidyamanaha, afflicted. Afflicted by this intense hunger, suppose. And in front of that person, well, this is a food, hot and very flavored and a very beautiful, some delicious food is there. And so naturally what will happen? That person will have a tendency to pounce on that food because flavored, well cooked, delicious. But then he was about to take the first morsel and somebody came running and said, well, don't take this because it has a potassium cyanide. And you said the potassium cyanide, the quality of potassium cyanide is its color is white. So like you add a salt in a food, unless you taste you won't know because salt does not have a color. So by seeing you can't understand whether there is a salt inside or not. You have to taste it. Same way potassium cyanide also is like that. It is white in color. So if it is there in any food looks same. Unless the person tastes, then he won't remain to answer also what is the taste of a food or taste of a potassium cyanide. So basically, but somebody comes and says that, well, however hungry, he won't touch now. So thought may come, but whether that person maybe, I think, since he is not getting such a kind of food, he may be, misguiding me and trying to create a fake fear in me or something. That thought may come, but still he will resist to take that food. Shankaracharya ji says, well, imagine now another person sitting nearby, just he is sitting nearby. It happens sometime, when two people are walking, they meet in a dining hall, one is taking food, other is not taking food. The other is not taking food does not mean he wants to remain hungry. Other has already taken food and filled up to the so he is sitting. So suppose other person has already taken a food and sitting nearby and has a heavy bhiksha. Mishtanna dvasta trut. He is using this expression. He has got a delicious food. Mishtanna. Mishta annam. Mishtam means a very delicious. Annam, food. So he has got a very sumptuous, delicious food, and therefore dvasta trut. So there is a word trush. Trush. Trush and trusha, same meaning. Trush means trusha means a craving, or here hunger, I mean. Trusha also means a thirst. Trusha means a craving. But here, in this understanding, we cannot take just thirst. We should say hunger. So, dvasta trut. So, his hunger has already gone, eliminated hunger, because of mishtan, because he has got a good food, he has eaten. What will be his attitude towards this food? Well, I mean, suppose he also has a plate, suppose somebody has served, but he has taken, so therefore, he has already, his hunger is eliminated, so he does not take. So what is his attitude towards the food? If you compare both the people, well, you will understand that both of them are not eating. But between two, there is a big difference. In case of our first person who is really hungry, there is a remote chance of being tempted, to eat. Because he is getting a doubt. This person is telling me, but there may not be a poison in this or something. Because he is very hungry, extremely hungry. So both of them are not taking food. So outwardly, it is same. But one is definitely having, that person who is hungry has a remote chance of being tempted to eat food because hunger. Whereas the person who is full has not even a remote desire also for taking food. Same way, one is a wise person, jnani, other is a samsari, ajnani. So, samsari, well, he is hungry, he is hungry, but he is seeing also potassium cyanide in all the objects. I have already told you three kinds of poisons are there. I have already told to you, right? And if you want, I will tell you again 3 types of poison. What are the names? I have already told you. Adulteration with all the objects of enjoyments are adulterated with the pain also. So that is dosha. That's a poison. Second one is, this object of enjoyment is not going to give me fulfillment forever. It's a very temporary thing, and therefore it is just a abhasa. It's a abhasa. I will explain you how sukha abhasa is created by the vishaya. Anyway, and therefore it does not give any fulfillment. That's the second poison he sees. And third is, it is going to make me addicted. It is going to make me bound to it, and therefore making me more dependent on it, and ultimately creating a pain in me, mental pain. And therefore, so he is hungry. He is ajnani. He wants fulfillment. He has a hunger of fulfillment, hunger of happiness, hunger of peace, hunger of security, and therefore definitely he is seeking objects, but he is seeing this poison in 3 types of poison in the vishaya, and therefore he is keeping away. And but he has a remote desire of taking the objects, because still the fulfillment has not come. He doesn't understand that I am a self-fulfilled person, etc. Anyway, but the other person, the jnani, he will not even a remote desire of objects. That's what he says. Kshudaya pidyamanaha visham attum na ichchati. This kshudaya pidyamanaha, this person who is, very hungry, pidyamana, he is afflicted by the hunger, but still visham attum na ichchati, to remove the hunger, well, he doesn't want to eat poison. And so, if that is the case, when hungry person himself he won't eat, where is what to talk about the person who is full? This is called kaimutika nyaya. Kim uta. Kim uta means what to talk about. What to talk about, like that. So, a person who is hungry can definitely has even a remote desire of taking the food, taking the object of enjoyment, who is a jnani. He is definitely that kind of a desire. But the one who is full, one who knows fulfillment, that he is a fulfillment. He's the source of this peace, security, and happiness. He does not even have a remote desire because his hunger is appeased, and therefore, Mishta Annadvasta. So Janan. So basically, Kshudaya Pidyamanaha Vishamattum Naichati Mishtannadvastatrut Janan. So one who knows that he is full, well, because of knowledge, Amudaha na jigatsati. Amudaha, well, he is a sane person, Jnani, and therefore, na jigatsati. Well, we can take it in an example also, whole thing in an example we can take, but I am taking as a dashtanta also along with. So basically, jigatsati means jagdum ichchati. Ada dhatu is there. Ada means to eat. From there, this is jagdum means desire. Jagdum means to eat. And it's a tumun pratyaya. And ichchati, desire. So there is a desire to eat, but na jigatsati. So well, he doesn't desire to eat. This sane person, well, who is wise, will not fall for the objects of enjoyment. Even if you want to take in an example, we can take it like this: Mishtana dvastatrut, one who has fulfilled, one whose hunger is appeased. Well, Janan, well, he knows that he is full and complete. His hunger is appeased. Amudaha, well, natad jigatsati. He is a sane person. How will he wish this kind of a food which has a poison? Huh? That way we should take. How will he has a desire to eat the food which has poison? Because he knows he is full and complete, so he does not even a remote desire to eat this kind of a food. So you can take that whole thing in example also. Anyway, but we have seen the comparison both. Verse 143. Prarabdha karma prabalyad bhogeshvichcha bhavedyadi klishyaneva tada peshah bhunte vishtigruhitavat. So here Vidyaranya takes a small diversion. That's how Drashtanta, Dashtanta both I have taken together, because there is a little diversion. Sometimes what he does, Vidyaranya explains the Drashtanta in the whole verse and then Dashtanta in the next verse. But here there is a diversion now. So that's how the previous verse 142 we can take it for example also and for exemplified also. Anyway, and see, Upanishad clearly says, Kathopanishad, Yada sarve pramuchyante kamayasya ridishitaha, etc., etc. In several places this has been said that Jnani does not have any desire. In fact, Sitapragna section also it is like that. So now we have to modify this. As I said before few minutes, Jnani does not have any desire, does not have any kama. Jnani does not have any desire for objects. No, Jnani has a desire for objects. Okay? And therefore, Jnani does not have a binding desires, as I said. So of course he does not have any immoral desires, but with respect to kama nivrutti we are discussing, we should add ashuddha kama nivrutti, binding desire. Well, this binding desire means definitely you are bound to fulfill. That's what it is. Why bound to fulfill? Because you feel you have a sense of unfulfillment. That's how then you get object of desire, then you feel as you will have a sense of fulfillment. So then that the desire or object, well, you are bound to that. To fulfill the desire also you are bound. So when this binding desire, when you fulfill and that desired object goes away from you, it disturbs you also. So bandhaka kamaha, you can say, ashuddha kamaha, bandhaka kamaha, etc., etc. So, and in chapter 6 we have already discussed this thing, and I will tell you the verse. In in my Ramakrishna book, in page 222 in chapter 6, verse number 262. There very beautifully he said, Apraveshya chidatmanam pruthak prashyanaham kritim ichchastu koti vastuni न बाधः ग्रंथि भेदतः. Koti vastuni ichha न बाधः. Koti means crores. He has a crores of desire, thousands of desire. He's when there also it was that was the topic of a jnani. So he may have a thousands of desire, but na badha. Well, there is no problem at all. So that all desires he has is a non-binding desires. Desire expression of his personality, let us say. Prarabdha janita kama. That's what he says. Prarabdha karma prabalya. So prarabdha gives him a certain personality, certain preferences. In fact, due to prarabdha, he is born at a certain place, and therefore a habit of eating certain type of food and wearing certain types of a cloth, and and other things also. In a way of his language, his way of approaching the people, jagat, etc., has a certain, all these things is a part of his personality which is born of prarabdha ultimately. So, but even if he, and due to that he has certain desire, ragadvesha, and therefore he has a certain preferences, and even if he does not fulfill, well, he is equally fine. That's what it is. When he was not having this knowledge, all these desires, well, which are there, were earlier they were he was bound with that. Bonding desires were there. Now he has all non-binding desires. So indriyasya ragadvesho vivastitau tayoho vasham na gachet. So indriyasya arthe. Every indriya, every sense organ has a very natural affinity for the respective sense object. Ragadvesha means that kind of fancies are there. Tayoho vasham na gachet. That's not for jnani, that's for ajnani. Tayoho, ragadveshayoho. For this raga and dvesha, for these likes and dislikes, well, for these desires, well, you don't vasham na gachet, don't fall for it. Well, that is what it is. But otherwise one can have, even our gods have preferences of a vehicle also. Devi has a simhavahanam, and then our Ganapati has a mushaka, and our Lord Shiva has this old bullock, very old, which hardly, it cannot get up also. And once it gets up and Lord sits on that, and it takes so slowly. From Himalaya to Smashana, it takes years and years to go. Anyway, so that is how it is. So Vrishabha, well, also very old. So each god also has a certain, musical instruments also. Saraswati means all the time veena, and Krishna means all flute. Why? Let us give this veena to Krishna and flute to Saraswati. No, they will throw. So basically, why? So means they have a certain preferences. Musical instruments, dress also. Saraswati means all white, all the malas and all the what you call, everything white, and food also certain type of food. Yeah. Krishna has a certain type of food. Anyway, so this, all ragadveshas pertaining to the particular personality. But one who understands a person behind all the personalities, he will not come under the fold of personality. One who takes oneself as a personality, all the layers of personality, that is what the individuality is. One who takes just as a personality, he has to fulfill his ragadvesha. The person behind all the personalities is one and the same. That is to be understood. He understands that. And therefore, well, if certain preferences are there, they will remain. Those desires will come. But if they are fulfilled, that's fine. If they are not fulfilled, that's also fine. Say they don't control me. That's all it means. Desire should not control you. That's what we say. Desire should not. You should control the desire. Then that desire is called preference. That desire is called preference when you control them. And if they control you, then it is really an enemy. I mean, unless they are fulfilled, they will not allow you to sit. And behind that, there is a moha, delusion, that this will come in my life, and well, then there will be I will more secure, I will be more peaceful, I will be more happy. It's a pure delusion. Like that, we have gathered in 20, 30 years, we have gathered thousands of things. Thinking upon something as a source of happiness, something as a source of peace, something as a source of security, we have gathered. And yet we are the same like before 30 years. That shows that it's a delusion to run behind all these things. Jnani is the one in whom there is no moha. That's what here, amudha. Amudha. One who has a moha is called muda. Delusion. Delusion means you see ulta. Ulta. What is really a source? You don't look at that. And what is not a source, you keep on looking at that. That's what it is. And when there is a moha, that delusion, there is going to be unhappiness. No delusion can create happiness. No delusion. No delusion. That's how human life is more tragic due to this. These animals, etc., we call them muda, but they are not aware of even. More than their a little bit requirement. Their desires are what? Very, very, very basic desires. Desire to propagate, desire to eat, desire to sleep or protect little bit. Human being has a refined desires. My God. All refined desires. In a desired object also, he wants a refinement all the time. Refining even a desired object. There is another desire. All refined desires, aesthetic desires, and so much. Fine, it is good. But then the problem is if all desires you can't fulfill also, being a very limited entity. You may desire thousands things, so what? You can't fulfill all. And therefore, person is, and he feels he is bound to fulfill that, and that creates a lot of pain in the mind. Klesha. And therefore, Jnanam converts this binding desires into non-binding. Because there is a self-fulfillment. If any object of desire I fulfill and then I will have a fulfillment, well, then that binding desires will remain. And pain also will remain. Everything will remain. Pain means not physical. I am talking about this. We call sorrow in general. Anyway, so desires are not bad. Puja Swamiji always calls it that is a privilege in a human being. Whole progress in a human life is due to this desire. Wonderful. Kamosmi Bharatarshava. Ye Bhagavan said also in 10th chapter, I am a kama in every human being. Dharma viruddha. That's the thing. Dharma aviruddha kamaha ahamasmi. So, and Bhagavan himself desired. So kamayata bahusyam prajaye. Tadaikshata bahusyam prajaye. Bhagavan desired to create a world. Otherwise, I won't be here to talk to you, and you also won't be here. So he desired to create. And therefore, definitely we can have thousands of desire. But those desires are ABCD, they call. So, what is this ABCD? They say appropriate, balanced, clean desire. ABCD. Appropriate, balanced, clean desire. ABCD. We should have a ABCD desire. Okay. So, different jnanis have basically a different desires. And some jnani to have a nishtha, and even after gaining nishtha, he feels that he should go to Gangotri and sit in a cave, and he doesn't want to come down. And some jnanis, well, from Gangotri he comes down after understanding everything, and who prefers to do some loka sangraha, well, want to spread the knowledge. And some jnanis, well, will have to build ashrama, desire to build ashrama. Some jnanis have a desire to build temples or renovate the temples. Some jnanis have a desire to build hospitals. Some jnanis have desire to build schools. All possible. All possible. We can't say anything. So different types of desires will be there in a jnani. And he can happily live with this desire and tries to fulfill also. If they are not fulfilled, well, he does not feel that he is unfulfilled. He won't have that, because Atma is basically a Purna. So he enjoys. He enjoys the fulfillment of a desire. He enjoys the desires, frankly speaking. He enjoys the whole drama, actually. That's a drama. So prarabdha karma prabalyat. So in our chapter 3 also, I think Bhagavan said, Sadrisham cheshtate swasyaha prakruter jnanavanapi. So prakrutehe jnanavanapi prakrutehe sadrisham cheshtate. Jnanavan, one who is a jnani, well, he also goes by his prakriti, by his personality, which has come through prarabdha. Depending upon his personality, he will have a number of desires, or he may have a desire not to do anything and just sit in a cave. Anything, it is all possible. And we saw also different jnanis have. Ramana Maharshi just sits on the top of a hill. He doesn't, for 12 years, he does not even speak or think. Such kind of thing, different types. So prarabdha karma prabalya, because of the prabalya of this prarabdha karma, bhogeshu ichha adi bhaved. Well, if they might have a certain bhogeshu ichha, if they might have a certain preferences, I am using word now, preference, or he might have some desires, let's say, in a bhiksha, in a dress, etc. Well, still it is all harmless. Klishya neva bhunkte. Now this is a really a typical thing. Klishya neva bhunkte. Klishya means klesha. Klesha means with sorrow. Oh, let me fulfill this desire. With the sorrow, he fulfills all desire. Is it possible? So we should understand that this klishyan word he is going to explain in verse number 145. But let us take it. Klishyan here means with detachment, with no attachment. He enjoys. When you enjoy a given thing without much attachment, we will not get addicted to that. That's how it is. And so tadapi, even if he enjoys with detachment or no attachment, Eshaha Bhunkte means he goes through the experience of enjoyment. Well, what happens is in the beginning, well, the object may not be there, but he does not miss. While enjoying also, basically he knows that the object of enjoyment does not give enjoyment. In fact, I enjoy myself. Object just pushes you. Object of your desire, of an enjoyment, push back yourself to yourself. That's what it does. Otherwise, a object of enjoyment, suppose if it is a source, it is giving a happiness, more and more contact with that object of enjoyment should give you more and more enjoyment. That does not happen. Source should give you more. Like the source of a sweetness is sugar. You add 1 spoon, sweet. 2 spoons, more sweet. That shows that if object does not give the happiness, it is not source of happiness, and still I experience happiness. What is the source? The subject. So the object of what happens is, I'm telling you now the mechanism. When there is a desire for a given object, because I look upon it as an object of enjoyment. So when there is a desire, my mind remains extrovert to gain that object. And well, due to your prarabdha, it has come to you. Now, what happens is that object has come. So the desire for that object has dropped. And in that condition of that mind, well, there is no desire at all. That's called Shanta Vritti or Sattviki Vritti, because desire means a Rajoguna. So that the desire drops. So the extrovertedness gets dropped. And well, the person becomes introvert. Introvert means what, Persons definitely is with oneself. His mind definitely has a clear reflection of oneself, Atma. And therefore, And so in the mind there is a sukhakara vritti, because Atma is basically Purna, and therefore a clean reflection. So definitely that's called, but since I don't know that I am basically in the mind, whatever right now I have that thought of, I mean, the happiness, etc. Since I don't know that I am a source of happiness, I take that object as a source of happiness. So I will call it as a Vishaya Sukham. That object has given me happiness. But that's a delusion. No object gives a happiness. No time. No object, no time, no place can be called as a source of happiness. No, Swamiji, that's not correct. Hawaii. Hawaii. Don't tell me that. Hawaii is a source of happiness. Huh? The person who has lost his wife on that shore, seashore, he would not want to go to any shore. Forget about Hawaii. Anybody who has lost his beloved in a given place, he just does not want to listen the word. Where is a question of going there? No time can be called as a happiness, even though happy hour is there. Okay? No time. Swami, you have told this thing several times. I am telling you, unless a teacher tells to you or you ponder over again and again to this thing, the grip of this extrovertedness in the mind does not go. You have to think again and again, again and again, again and again. So, Shanaihi Shanaihi, this is what it is. So, no object is happiness, no place is happiness, no time is happiness. Yet, then there is no experience of happiness. No, it is there. Then there must be other source. If object is place, etc., is not a source of happiness, what is left over is the self, the subject. And therefore, and this is what happens basically. So the extrovertedness gets dropped when you get the object of your desire. And well, you are just with yourself. In your mind, well, when the desire is not there, well, the Rajoguna is being absent. Your mind has a Shanta Vritti. And in the Shanta Vritti, the reflection of Atma is clear. So you experience yourself. In fact, in any moment of joy, well, be alert, I'm telling you. Just be alert. Don't get carried away. Tell your mind, give auto-suggestion to your mind that I'm going to enjoy so and so thing. And I'm going to remind myself that what is the source of that enjoyment. And you will see that when you really are enjoying a thing, you are just yourself. You are just yourself. So Vishaya, any object of enjoyment which you have desired, has pushed you or pushed your mind to yourself, the self. So you are just with yourself. That's the model. But then again some desire comes. Again you become extrovert. That's what is happening. And therefore, so this is what he knows. So before a object of desire comes, well, even if he doesn't come, he does not miss. And while enjoying also, he knows that this object is not giving me happiness. I am enjoying myself. Just Vishaya becomes a nimitta. And even if it goes away, there is a question of a sorrow. Because that he does not look upon it as an object of enjoyment, object of security, etc. So it's all manifestation of my ananda even in the while experiencing any bhoga. So Vishti Gruhitavat, so like he is like an employee, this Gnani is like an employee working under contract. Just as a contract laborer does job without any attachment in a garden or any place, any factory. Well, so if a regular employee means he is having some attachment to that company which gives him a job and money, etc. But this contract laborer, they work. So when they go, they work without any attachment. Vishti means like this, contract payment. Gruhitavat. So he is like an employee who is on a contract. And so, so that is what we say. Like you drive a car and your driver, your chauffeur drives a car. There's a big difference in attitude. Okay? There's a big difference in attitude. So that person does a job, but no attachment. Same way the Gnani experiences all objects of enjoyment, no attachment at all. Attachment comes when you look upon object as a source of PHS. Okay? And therefore, PHS. I have already told you PHS. So, anyway. In fact, to I'm telling you very frankly, Jnani even does not remember that so and so beautiful thing he has enjoyed. He forgets also. Does not, because what happens is in his mind there is some kind of an insulation. Insulation. He even talks to the, oh, this is so wonderful, and this and that, and he asks how you have you prepared, and the and so the person feels, see now, this jnanis, all this, they talk about this, Atma is Purna, etc. See, looking at the object, looking at this food, how they have become, but they don't know this is all a one drama, clean drama, nothing more than a drama. Therefore, they don't remember also what objects of enjoyment they have enjoyed. You have to remind them. This is what it is. So, while enjoying itself, there is a layer of detachment. Layer of detachment means I am the source of joy. I am the source of. So, he does not feel in anybody's presence. He does not feel more secure. He does not feel elevated, frankly speaking. He does not feel at all. In presence of somebody, he feels elevation. No, in any manner. What can be give a more elevation other than the self, which is Purna? This is a nishtha of a person. This is a nishtha. Okay, let's go to verse 144. Bhunjana abhibudhaha Bhunjana abhibudhaha Shraddhavantah kutumbinah Nadyapi karma nachchinnam iti klishyanti santatam. Vidyaranya takes now example of a grihastha jnani. And Shastra and Sampradaya accepts a grihastha jnani's possibility. Bhagavan also talked about in a 4th chapter. Very popular verse, also. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi, etc., etc. How the person who is performing a yajna as a grihastha, he is supposed to perform certain yajna, but he looks upon the entire accessories of this yajna, including the one who does yajna. He looks upon everything as a Brahman. So therefore, grihastha jnanis are there, and the possibility. I have talked about it, in this Vamsha Brahmana, in a Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, where they show the Vamsha, the lineage of a Guru Shishya. In that, most of them are Grihasthas. Sannyasis are very less. Anyway, so here also Vidyaranya gives an example of a Grihastha Jnani. Kutumbinaha Buddhaha. See how this Grihastha Jnani enjoys their life. Jnani enjoys this Kutumbinaha, one who has a Kutumbi. So, a Jnani, Buddhaha, Kutumbi, means he has a Kutumba. Kutumba is family. He enjoys the company of a family. Shraddhavantaha, who has got Shraddha in the Shastra, who has knowledge of Shastra. Bhunjanaha api, even they go through certain painful experience or due to prarabdha or even a pleasure also. Their attitude is what? Adyaha api na karma, santatam klishyanti naha chinnam. So, adyaha api, this karma, this prarabdha, santatam na klishyanti. Well, they have their awareness, let us say. Well, this prarabdha karna, we are not affected by this prarabdha karmas. Naha chinnam means for us this prarabdha is not destroyed. Chinnam means destroyed. Naha means for us. For us, this prarabdha is not destroyed. Still, adyahapi, still today, This karma na santatam klishyanti, they do not affect us, and therefore they accept this continuation of the prarabdha, etc., and they enjoy the kutumba, etc., without any kind of a attachment. न प्रहृष्येत् प्रियं प्राप्य न उद्विजेते न उद्विजेत् प्राप्य च प्रियं स्थिरबुद्धिरसम्मूढः ब्रह्मविद् ब्रह्मणि स्थितः. प्रियं प्राप्यं न प्रहृष्येत्. If they get something priyam, because there is, those things are there in his mind due to personality, due to prarabdha, certain things are priyam for him. Well, priyam prapyam na prahrishyet, they don't jump and break the ceiling. And na udvijet prapya cha apriyam. Apriyam prapya na udvijet. Even if they get certain painful thing, well, na udvijet, they don't fall them, they don't basically gain a sorrow in the mind. Sthira buddhi, sthita prajnaha. Buddhi means a jnanam here. Sthira, this person who has gained a nishtha in the jnanam, well, brahmavid brahmani sthita, since he knows he is a Brahman, does not get affected with this. So this is given, here it's a given example of a grihastha jnani. And verse 145 now. नायं क्लेशोऽत्र संसार तापः किन्तु विरक्तता भ्रान्ति ज्ञान निदानो हि तापः सांसारिक स्मृतः. So in the previous two shlokas, Vidyaranya said Jnani goes through this happy prarabdha, happily what prarabdha provides. And when opportunity comes, well, he does not say no also. He undergoes that experience of playing, pleasure, etc., everything. So klishyan, that has been told like that, klishyan, right? Klishyan. So virakta san, Vidyaranya feels the word may be misunderstood. Klishyan means with a complaint, with a disgust. Oh, this prarabdha, I have to undergo this, etc., etc. How can, when will I get rid of this kutumba, etc.? No. That kind of a thing is not there. So Vidyaranya feels this word klishyan, klesha, etc. will be misunderstood. So he clarified here in this shloka. Ayam kleshaha na samsara tapaha. So the klesha which ayam, this klesha means which he has mentioned in verse 143 and 144 as a klishyan, like that. So, well, this is not samsara tapa. It does not convey this pain or sense of a samsarika dukkha, etc. Well, he thoroughly enjoys, does not feel guilty in a kutumba. People sometimes, when they get more and more involved in the study, they feel this grihastha life is a useless life. I don't know why I fell into this, and when will I get rid of? People have that kind of thing. All the time complains about their married life, etc. This person will not. He accepts it. A prarabdha, and he enjoys also. So ayam kleshaha na samsara tapaha. Well, jnani, which during worldly pleasure when he gains, etc., well, he does not feel guilty, etc. Viraktata is there. So kintu viraktata. So viraktata means what? Well, that inner detachment is there. So klesha is equal to viraktata. So inner detachment. Not klesha means say some kind of a sorrow, complaint, and sense of a disgust, etc. for external situation. Depending upon his prarabdha, it is there. He does not have that kind of a thing. Because his mind is ready to lose what is losable. That is the habit he has formed. Vairagya means what? You are ready to lose what is losable. That's what it is. If I am not ready to lose what is losable, it's going to create a problem. The thing is going to go away, and I want to hold on to it because if that's an object of my joy or happiness or a peace or a security. So I don't want that it should go away. And that object's nature is that it will go away. Either you go away, either it goes away. So you are in between, it is with you due to prarabdha. You two are together. That's like a log of wood. Then two logs of wood in that flood water. They are there for some time together. they go away. They are separated. Separated forever. That's all. Separated forever. Anyway. So he does not miss mean anything which goes away. His mind is always prepared to lose what is losable. And because he has a nishtha in a thing which never gets lost, and that is Atma. Atma has no loss. Otherwise, a sense of loss will come. But he knows the Atma which never gets lost. So mind, of course, should be prepared to lose the objects basically. So clishan indicates that kind of a thing, inner detachment. Now, how can you say Gnani has a vairagyam and no pain? Well, pain of samsara is basically defined as a tapaha of ignorance and delusion. So he says Bhranti Jnana Nidanaha. Nidanam is a karanam. So which is this Bhranti, this samsara tapa which is caused by Bhranti Jnanam. So Bhranti Jnanam Nidanam Yasya Saha Bhranti Jnana Tapaha. This tapa, this basically all the samsarika pain etc. is always born of a Bhranti Jnana. And in Nishkarma Siddhi, I should not discuss, the time is over. In Nishkarma Siddhi, very beautiful example is given. That there is a tree which is dried, and it has on that stem there is a white color they have done, and the person is passing through the forest, and that particular tree comes in at a certain distance on his way, and while going he has seen that, but during daytime, and now when he was returning home, and he has to pass through this forest, and it was already a little dark, semi-dark, and now he sees that, but he did not realize that that is the tree. He feels that somebody is standing with a white shirt, pant, etc. And this is a time in the forest when even the ghost can appear, and therefore a post is looked upon as a ghost. That's a Bhranti Jnana, and that Bhranti Jnanam definitely generates a tapa, fear, etc. And he wants to run away from that. So that's what Nishkrima Siddhikara has described in a little different context also, but this is a thing. Bhranti Jnana Janya Tapa. So, definitely this tapa, this klesha, etc. in the mind, samsarika tapa, etc., which is born in the mind, is due to Bhranti Jnanam. This emotional dependence on the objects definitely create a tapa. And Gnani does not commit that blunder of being dependent emotionally. Gnani is dependent on these objects physically, correct? Because so far as his physical body is concerned, he derives, because physical body is sustained by all the things which comes from outside. It may be water, it may be food, everything. So he's dependent, but he knows he is not physical body. Otherwise somebody will say, Swami, but still he is dependent. But he does not say I am physical body. He does not say. It's gone long back. And therefore definitely, so his physical body is dependent upon the world for sustenance, etc. He says, I am sustaining the whole creation, including this body. It's an entirely different gamut. I am sustaining the whole universe. The whole universe comes and goes in me, and I am not at loss. No one can displace me. Nothing can displace me. Nothing. Where they come, I am sane. Where they go, sane. Things come and go. I never get lost. Things that are losable get lost. That's what mithya. That's what the mithya thing is. So that kind of a blunder, emotional dependence is not there. And therefore tapa is not there because he has a knowledge. Whereas samsara tapa is due to bhranti jnana nidanam. That's a karanam. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.